it's a blessing from Allah that this religion is detailed in such a way. We have no confusion or uncertainty. Everything is made clear. But unfortunately, people have made it unclear. People have made things unclear by constantly talking. Everyone has an opinion. Go onto Facebook, go onto Twitter, see. Everyone is giving their fatwa, their own ruling. Everyone is speaking. Everyone is speaking. Well, I think this. I think this. I think this. Who goes to the hospital and says, "Doctor, I have this medicine is no good. You should have this." No one does that. Because he's the expert, he's the doctor, he's the experienced one. You're the one who's coming for medication. You take what he gives you. Assalamu alaikum, tawakkal ala Allah. You don't sit there and dispute with the doctor. Why once a day? Why not twice a day? Why not this medication? This is better. Why not this? Why not? No, I think you're wrong. Okay, when you go into Google and say, well, see, this website says that this is. You don't waste your time like this. So why is it okay in the religion of Allah, the greatest thing and the greatest science on the face of the earth? It's not something easy. It's not something easy. And this is what has confused people. And you see people, and we all have, who are spending months and years worried about small issues that are easy. And they're spending every shaykh that they see, "Shaykh, how do you move the finger into shahud?" Keep your finger down, don't move it at all. Don't move it at all if it's going to cause you so much stress. How to, months stressed about this issue. And it's not even wajib, it's a sunnah. It's a sunnah. I heard that you place the hands here, and someone said you place the hands here, and someone said you place, put them to the side. And save yourself the stress. And that's a valid opinion as well. It's the madhab of Malik. These things are not worthy of causing so much. The religion did not come with these things. It didn't focus with these things. These are additional recommended rulings. You don't know how to make wudu properly, and you're asking about this and this and this. These are big, big problems. Yeah? These are very big problems. And it's the role of the masajid, and the role of the imams, and the role of teachers to teach the community what to focus on. We mentioned some of this last week. That we need to learn to distinguish between what's most important, what's next, what's easy, what's something that you just allow. In so many of the ajwiba of Ahmad ibn Muhammad rahimahullah ta'ala, he's asked a question, how does a person do this and that? He says, al-amru fihi sa'a. The matter's easy, the matter's open. Whether you do it like this or do it like this. How do you go into sujood? Knees first or hands first? The matter is easy. Place your hands below the navel or above the navel. The matter is easy, as Tirmidhi rahimahullah said in his Jami'. Some scholars said the person places their hands below the navel, like Ahmad ibn Hanbal and Ishaq and Abu Hanifa. And some of them preferred above the navel, like Shafi'i and Malik in one narration. And then Tirmidhi said, وَالْأَمْرُ فِي ذَلِكَ وَاسِعٌ. And the matter in this is easy. Meaning whether you place it here or here, it's easy. It's not something to cause a fuss about. Someone spends a year, is it haram to have your clothing below the ankle or not? 1 year for this? 1 year for that? To the extent that one of my friends told me once he was praying salah and he had trousers on that were long. So he was in salah and he felt somebody rolling his trousers for him. Whilst in salah, and he looked down and he saw somebody at his feet rolling his trousers up for him. What's more important, this ruling or you distracting someone from salah like that? And especially that the majority of scholars say it's not wajib. There's no understanding of priority, what takes priority and what comes next. So it's a major problem, and it needs understanding. And some people have split up the Muslims. And you might have seen this photo on social media, the parking sign, 8 rak'ahs parking, 20 rak'ahs parking. You're going to pray 20 rak'ahs, parking is here. If you pray 8 rak'ahs, parking is here. These kinds of things are...
Someone doesn't want to pray, so he doesn't have to park then he has to walk.
Don't block anyway.
These are major confusions. The religion is easy, alhamdulillah. Allah has made it simple for us to follow. But unfortunately we've made it difficult for ourselves. We have made it difficult. So these things, and unfortunately it's the ignorant people who are the loudest. Because if you go back to see what the scholars say, they weren't like this. They don't talk about this. Now, for example, the number of rak'ahs in Taraweeh, this has caused a huge fuss with some people. Arguments and disputes and so on. Go back to the books of the scholars. That is easy. The Muwatta of Malik has so many narrations. 28, 36, 39 rak'ahs of Taraweeh. And it's all easy. Yeah? And the matter is all easy. So this is really, really essential. We're not going to allow things that are clearly haram. We don't go to that extreme, as some people do. The religion is easy. Do what you want. Do this, do that. No, not that extreme. But where there is real scope and space in the religion, keep the space there. Why make it tight? Some people don't like the word halal. They get angry. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Say alhamdulillah. Something is, you're angry because someone said it's halal, it's permissible, as though haram is the piety. If someone says something is haram, he's from the awliya Allah, as-salihin. He's from the people of taqwa. That's a big mistake. If something is halal and you say it's haram, is that permissible? It's a major sin. Something is halal and you say it's haram, it's a major sin. And something is haram and you say it's halal, it's a major sin as well. Both are major sins. Not just the one who says it's halal. We always criticize the one who says something is permissible. But the one who says everything's haram, this is haram, this is haram, we're okay with this. Why? That's a big misunderstanding in the religion. And unfortunately we have the extremes. There's the one who nothing is haram in his religion. Everything's halal. Before you ask him a question, Bismillah. Before you ask this person, this sheikh or this teacher a question, you know what he's going to say. It's allowed. Do it, don't worry. Because we want to make religion easy for the Muslims. Okay, make your own religion and make it easy for the people. But Islam isn't like this. And at the other end, you have the mufti, who you know his answer is going to be haram. You might as well not ask him. Don't ask. He's going to say it's haram. Whatever it is haram. And that again is a big problem. That again is a big problem. The scholars weren't like this. Look in the madhab of Abu Hanifa. Look in the madhab of Malik. Look in the madhab of Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i. Look in the madhab of Abdullah Ahmad ibn Hanbal. All of them have some lenient opinions and some more stricter opinions. Some lenient opinions, some stricter opinions. The madhab of Malik is lenient when it comes to food and drink, meat, for example. And it's a lot stricter with some business transactions. The madhab of Abu Hanifa is lenient in some, stricter in some. The madhab of Ahmad is lenient in some, stricter in some. But the one who's always strict, where does this person come from? Not from the fiqh of the Salaf. And the one who is always lenient, also not from the fiqh of the Salaf. And so this is a key thing to understand. And we have been commanded to follow a people of knowledge. Because now one of the biggest confusions of our time is different opinions. Shaykh, I heard he said this and he said it's haram, and I watched the video on YouTube and he said it's okay, and I saw on Google and he said it's fine, and I heard one lecture and he said it's not good, and all these various different opinions. Allah has required one thing from us. You're either a muqallid or a mujtahid. A muqallid, a follower, or a scholar. If you're a scholar, then you know what you're doing, you don't need advice. If you're a muqallid, you ask a person of knowledge and taqwa, who you trust in their knowledge of the halal and the haram, and their knowledge of the Quran, and their knowledge of the Sunnah. You trust that person, ask them your question, take their answer, what they give you, go with it. Someone comes to you and says, brother, you shouldn't do this. Say, thank you, I've already asked. I don't need your opinion. Because this is one of the biggest concerns. You've been given a fatwa. And Al-Shatibi rahimahullah says in Al-Muwafaqat, the Quran, the scholar for the layman, the scholar for us, is like the Quran and the Sunnah for the scholar. What does this mean? It means, just like a verse in the Quran or an authentic hadith in the Sunnah is a proof for the scholar. The scholar takes these proofs and gives a ruling from these proofs. Similarly, the layman, the one who's not a scholar, the fatwa of a scholar is his proof. So when you come on the Day of Judgment and Allah asks you, why did you do this, why did you not do this? You say, ask him. And he's a person of knowledge and the responsibility is on him, not you. and this is explicit in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that if a person has asked a scholar, and the scholar made the mistake, then the sin is not upon the questioner. But you ask a scholar, not anyone, you ask a scholar. Or you take a fatwa from one of the four madhahib of fiqh. Okay, so in the subcontinent, it's mainly the Hanafi madhab. You take the fatwa of the Hanafi madhab if you want, it's not obligatory. You take the fatwa of the Hanafi madhab. Or you take the fatwa of the madhab of Malik, like in North Africa. Or you take the fatwa of Hanabila, like in Saudi Arabia and other countries. Or you take the fatwa, whatever the fatwa is, whether it's from one of the madhahib or whether it's a scholar, not explicitly from one of the madhahib. The main thing is they are scholars of the Quran, of the Sunnah, of halal and haram. They know what they're doing, and they're people of taqwa and iman. Ask that person, and that's your evidence on the Day of Judgment. You have nothing to worry about. Even if the whole of Hounslow comes and tells you this is not good, you say, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. I've asked a mufti and he gave me this answer. And I'm going to go with this. Because if we just change our opinion every time we hear something, what's going to happen? Chaos. Pure chaos. Yeah? Pure chaos. And we need to learn to not rush. We need to learn to not rush into speaking. Sometimes we don't know that this is a valid opinion. This person is doing something, it's valid. For example, now, do we have many people praying with irsal, sadr? We've seen this. Those from Morocco and Algeria see this. Salah is prayed like this. If someone has never seen this, so this person is shieck. Yeah. Straight away. Because they've never seen this. Only in the Shia do this, as far as they're concerned. Sa'id ibn Musayyib, Sayyid al-Tabi'in, used to do it. And Ibn al-Qasim, one of the major students of Malik ibn Anas, used to do so. And the Imams of the Madhab of Malik used to do so. Doesn't mean you have to follow it. You can think, I don't really think this is a strong opinion. That's fine. But you don't start to attack. Yeah? And you speak. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? There's no need for this. As Al-Hafidh ibn Abd al-Barr said, some of my shuyukh place their hands to the side, some of my shuyukh place their hands above the navel. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Yeah, no matter this. If you think this one is the sunnah, go with it. If you think I trust these scholars, go with it. And that's the end of the matter. Especially something like this, which is not wajib. All the scholars agree, if you pray like this, the salah is valid. All of the scholars agree. Whichever method. The only khilaf is, which one is the sunnah, which one is better, which one is not. That's it. So again, it's important to learn to distinguish. All the Salaf agree, praying 8 rak'ats in Taraweeh, or 20, or 36 is permissible. All of them. Except the contemporary shawad opinions that don't really count, and they're not given any consideration. These opinions aren't considered valid. The Salaf all agree that this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. So if they said it's fine, why are you causing a problem? لو كان خيرا لسبقونا إليه. If your actions were good, they would have done it before you. They would have done it before you. And the matters are many. But the point is, sometimes we know about the difference of opinion, like now we know the placing of the hands and the salat tarawih and so on. And sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we think, no, this is definitely haram. Definitely. Or this is definitely a bid'ah. 100%, without question. But the reality is that it's not the case like that. It's not as easy as we think. Okay, and one of the examples, coincidentally, is tonight, which is the night of the 15th of Sha'ban. And maybe what's common amongst most people is, this is 1,000,000,000% a bid'ah. Okay, which is not the case, according to so many of the Imams of the Salaf. And many of the Imams of the Salaf would say that this night, which is our night now until Fajr, is a night of blessing. Some of the scholars authenticate these ahadith also. They say these ahadith are authentic. And the Tabi'een of Sham used to increase in worship on this night. And increase in salah, and increase in dhikr, and increase in reciting Quran, tahajjud, and so on. On this night, hoping for Allah's forgiveness and mercy. So the matter is again, and this is the madhab of Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and this is the madhab of Abu Hanifa, and it's the madhab of Ishaq ibn Rahawi, and al-Awza'i, and Masruq, and other tabi'een, rahimahullah wa radiya anhu. they always say that this night is a virtuous night where acts of worship can be increased and so on. The scholars of Hijaz say no. That's the scholars of Medina and the scholars of Mecca, like Ata, and the scholars of Medina. Like who's from the scholars of Medina? Who's one of
Malik.
Malik.
Imam Malik.
Malik is from the
Medina.
is the Imam of Ahl al-Medina, not just from the scholars of Medina. And also al-Fuqaha al-Sab'ah, like Sa'id and Khalid ibn Zayd and Abu Bakr and Al-Qasim ibn Muhammad. All of these scholars are from the Imams of Medina. They consider that this is a normal night as every other night. It's nothing special. And the scholars of Sham and other countries, like Al-Awza'i and so on, said this is a virtuous night where a person can do acts of worship. Alhamdulillah, the matter is fine. There's nothing specific. Okay, there's nothing specific. A person needs to do 1,000 rak'ahs. Okay, some say 100 rak'ahs like this, and every rak'ah you read Qul Huwallahu Ahad in. After 100 rak'ahs of Qul Huwallahu Ahad, this is an exaggeration. Or anything else specific. Again, there's none of that. But this is a chance to do good deeds. If it turns out that this is a virtuous night, alhamdulillah, we've gained huge amounts of reward. If it's not a virtuous night, have we committed a sin? Yeah, it's reward. Okay, it's reward. And this is another example of that. Rushing to speak. A person sees, someone writes a post on Facebook, tonight is the 15th of Sha'ban, increasing good deeds and so on. First comment is, this is a bid'ah, brother. Okay, you think it's a bid'ah? Sit at home, sleep. No one said you have to stand up and pray. Sleep. But because of your ignorance, you rush and speak and criticize and attack. Some things, yes, do need to be criticized. Like we said, we're not going to open the door for everything and make everything permissible and everything is fine and everything is this and so on. But at the same time, we need to have that important balance. I know a lot of this was not related to fasting, but maybe they're more important because they occur all the time, not just in Ramadan. Every single day these problems occur. These confusions and misunderstandings, and Muslims are criticizing the others, and we have this every year. I don't think there's been a single year where we haven't had someone in Ramadan making an argument. Every year. Every single year. And I'm sure you have it during Taraweeh. But this is a complaint, why are they doing this? This is not from the Sunnah, this is... You need to be extra careful. And knowledge brings this. The more a person increases in knowledge, the more accepting they are of people's different opinions, because they realize the validity of this and the validity of this. When someone has only learned one thing, to them, as far as they know, everything else is wrong, because they've only learned one or two things. Okay. Looks like we are getting tired, so we will leave it off at that. And next week we've covered more or less the main rulings for fasting. Who fasts, what the fasting is from, things that invalidate, things that don't invalidate the fast. And also qada, repeating the fast, like we said, needs to be before the next Ramadan. This is a final point. If a person misses a fast this Ramadan, you need to repeat it before the next Ramadan. You don't say, I'll repeat it in a couple of years' time. It needs to be before the next Ramadan. It needs to be before the next Ramadan. Otherwise, if you delay it without an excuse, you need to repeat and pay a fidya. Feed one poor person per day. Because of you're delayed. And 6 of the Sahaba gave this fatwa. Yeah? That if you delay to the next Ramadan, so instead of fasting in December, for example, you fast in 2020 or 2025, and you delay it and delay it and delay it without a valid excuse, you need to repeat those days. You don't have to multiply it one day, each time you miss a year you have to multiply. No, same number of days, but you need to pay a fidya for every day that you delayed. Every day that you delayed. Wallahu a'lam, sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.